This show is presented by the 323 Network. You can watch all your favorite 323 friends and shows on the 323 Network YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms at 323Reid, and support us as we continue to grow at patreon.com/323Reid. That's 323REID. All right, so we're going to play a little game just to warm up because we're out of the holiday season now. It's a big thing every year, NFL quarterback gifts. You have to give gifts to your offensive line, not only to thank them for all the work that they do for you, as a quarterback, but also to make sure that they continue to try and block for you. So you have to give them a good gift. These quarterbacks every year go over the top in what they give their O-linemen or trying to top other quarterbacks across the league. Now, arguably, there are some O-lines in the league that the quarterback shouldn't buy them gifts. There's no reason to buy them gifts. I didn't think Aaron Rodgers should have bought his O-line gifts. He still did. Caleb Williams, you don't need to spend any of that rookie money on that O-line and what they've been doing to you. But I'm going to have you guys tonight. I think the way that we're going to do this and review the quarterback gifts, because there's been some interesting ones, I'm going to name the gift. Or no, I'm going to name a quarterback, and you have to tell me what they possibly. What would be more? What would be the harder thing for you to tell me who the quarterback is to the gift that I name, or I name a quarterback and you tell me what they got their O-line?
I think the more difficult thing would be us picking what the quarterback could have potentially given at that point.
Yeah, I could just go any, especially like the two that I know. It's just like. Yeah, I think trying to pick the quarterback would be more fun.
Trying to pick the quarterback? So I name the gift and you pick the quarterback?
Yeah, I would much rather prefer that.
All right. We'll give you a shot here. He's just here for fun.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All right. So we're going to be naming these quarterback gifts to review for the season, for the holiday season, what these quarterbacks did and spent so much money that we can only dream of for their big old fat offensive linemen. So I'm going to give you guys a gift, and you have to tell me what it is. So I don't know how equal are you guys on sound, or like you're in sync right now. If I have you do a buzzer system, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and after I say 3, you both say buzz.
Wait.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, go, or 1, 2, 3, buzz.
I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then you both say buzz, just so I can see how in sync you are. All right?
Okay.
You said wait, like at the perfect time for that, too.
He did. 1, 2, 3.
Buzz.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to name the gift, and the first person to say buzz, they get to guess. All right? And I'll hopefully be able to tell on the voice. All right, so your first gift here, and this is an easy one. I think you both know. And this will be a good way to get the points up. This quarterback gave their offensive line Toyota trucks.
Buzz.
Scott?
That'd be Brock Purdy.
That was indeed Brock Purdy. That's an easy one.
That was one of the ones I knew.
It's been known. He's on a very, very, the cheapest rookie contract that you can get, and gave his O-line Toyota trucks. Now, the key to this...
5 Tundras and 5 Sequoias or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just want to know how that works.
Well,
like, are they like...
He's a Toyota spokesman. So...
Yeah, but my thing is, like, who owns the truck?
Yeah, do they have to pay the taxes on it?
Or did you buy him...
after?
So thank you. You just gave me insurance payments in California for Christmas. Appreciate it. Thanks, Brock.
Truck insurance payments in California.
Thanks.
It's a Brock Hard gift. All right, this next gift that we have is a really interesting one to me. This quarterback, they got their offensive line. They asked them ahead of time, "Hey, what do you want?" They said guns. We'd love some guns because they're O-linemen. They're all hunters. They're all, that's what they do. They wanted guns. This quarterback, he didn't think that guns would be an appropriate idea for a gift that's going to be in the public spotlights, but he stayed on the weapons mindset. And he got his offensive linemen authentic katana swords, Japanese katanas, each having a unique backstory of a town or battle. Like, super, super cool. So who is that quarterback?
Buzz.
Scott?
It seems like a Josh Allen thing.
It was.
Wait, I have a guess.
Well, am I wrong?
Okay.
If I'm wrong,
I was gonna say it is not Josh Allen.
Oh.
So that's one down. Zoo, do you have a counter?
I was gonna say Kyler.
Kyler Murray?
Why?
Yeah, why? Why, Zoo?
Why?
Well, it started.
Why?
Hold on. It started. I was thinking of like the most country places. I was like, okay, Arizona. I could see people getting into something like that. And then when you said that it went into katanas instead, then I was like, that makes Kyler answer even funnier. I'm sticking with that.
Young Hoku.
It was not Kyler Murray or Young Hoku. It was actually the owner of one of the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight Batmobiles, Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow.
That's the other one I was in between. That seems like a Joe Burrow thing.
He got that bag, and he looks like Richie Rich, and he's spending money like Richie Rich, so that works.
Well,
out.
that just goes to the stereotype of white guys being into mall ninja shit. So
they really
makes
are.
sense.
They really are. All right, this next gift was a gift bag for each of their O linemen. The gift bag featured a Rolex watch, Oakley's, a Yeti cooler, Lucchese boots, Normatec recovery boots. Who's that quarterback?
Buzz, Patrick Mahomes.
Was it Patrick Mahomes? It was indeed Patrick Mahomes. Yes. Mahomes.
Oakley's.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Oakley's gives like real like boat fuckboy energy, and Mahomes has that. I like Oakley's too.
It's the gift bag gave it away for me. It seems like something that Mrs. Mahomes probably put together for Patrick.
Yes. Oh yeah, good.
Ooh,
Oakley's. Oh yeah. See, those are Oakley glasses. The people that wear like the snowboard sunglasses.
I know what they are, but just showing them wearing Oakley's as we speak.
I like the energy. This quarterback had a tailor come in and measure all of the O linemen for a custom Tom Ford suit, which they can wear with their new Tom Ford sunglasses and their Tom Ford cologne. He also got them a Louis Vuitton passport holder, a stereo speaker, and a bottle of Devil's River bourbon. Who's that quarterback? Zoo?
Jalen Hurts.
Is it Jalen Hurts? It is not Jalen Hurts. Scott, you have a counter?
With Lamar Jackson.
It was not Lamar Jackson. We don't know Lamar Jackson's, and it's rumored that he got him guns, but there's been no confirmation of that. So, no, that
doesn't surprise me.
This one who brought in a tailor for a Tom Ford suit. That should be a new game too. Why? Explain that. This quarterback was Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was the one he brought in his O lineman. I don't think he should have. I don't think he should have gotten the mini gifts, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
He's gonna.
It was a farewell gift.
I was about to say he's gonna have to buy all new linemen new gifts next year anyway. So
save your money, man. This quarterback brought all of his O linemen electric scooters and wrapped them himself.
Buzz.
Zoo.
Jaden Daniels.
It was Jaden Daniels. Yes, he had that one in the bag. This one, he knew his O linemen. He's been around them. He knew what to get them. He got them a Yeti package, a cooler, a nice Yeti cooler.
That's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Buzz.
Well, I'm curious about the rest of it, though. Give me the rest of the breakdown.
It's a Yeti cooler full of meat. We're gonna go with Jared Goff.
It was a Yeti cooler filled with Wagyu steaks and beef from Jared Goff.
Yeah. Those are the only two I knew.
Now this one, quick to see who. Nobody say Buzz until I'm finished on this one. It's a $10,000 Airbnb gift card with a Louis Vuitton gift duffel bag and a bottle of Singer Sierra's 10-to-1 rum.
Buzz.
Scott?
Tua?
No, it was not Tua. The big clue in there is that bottle of rum from the Singer Sierra.
Oh, god damn it.
Zoo, do you have a counter?
Just think about why I'm mad.
That narrows it down to nothing.
I know it. I know it now.
You know what? Go for it.
Baker Mayfield.
You said Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, you said rum. Pirates and rum.
No.
What?
No, I was gonna say, I was gonna jokingly say Josh Allen, just to get people out of the cold tundra of winter buffalo.
It was
Rum?
not. No, this is a bottle of rum by the singer Sierra. The singer Sierra, she makes this rum.
Oh,
10-year
Sierra.
rum.
Okay.
It was
I missed
Russell
that part.
Russell Wilson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's correct.
I was
Yes.
so fixated on the Airbnbs.
I heard rum. I didn't hear Sierra.
This quarterback bought all of their old linemen limited edition bottles of Class Azul to all of the old linemen of the New York Giants.
Buzz.
Scott?
Daniel Jones.
It was Daniel Jones even after he was released.
Aww.
He's coming from the practice squad of the Minnesota Vikings. He still sent them. That's my favorite.
I was like, DeVito probably makes less than Purdy, so I doubt it was him.
Did you see? Did you guys see Daniel Jones and Eli in New York for New Year's, hanging out at bars?
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
I had no idea. Okay, go ahead. This final quarterback, final one. They got their O-lineman personalized golf carts customized with each player's last name and number, and of course, the logos for this quarterback and a partner in this one. Who's that quarterback? And bonus points if you can name the player who also helped along with this
Wait,
one.
say it again. 'Cause my ADHD brain stopped for a second while you were talking.
It was a personalized golf cart customized with each player's last name and number. And of course, the logos for that quarterback and the player who helped buy them. My ADHD. Scott?
Players that have logos.
CJ Stroud?
It's not CJ Stroud. Zoo, do you
Was
have a
that
guess?
Baker Mayfield?
It was not Baker Mayfield. It was
Aiden O'Connell?
It was Jalen Hurts. It was Jalen Hurts and Saquon.
Jalen Hurts has a
Barkley.
logo?
And Saquon Barkley has a logo apparently. They bought the O-lineman golf carts. Barkley had to join in on the thank you for nearly
What's his
getting
logo?
Eric Dickerson's record on there.
Oh, that's a
Which-
stupid logo. What's the score?
Oh, I wasn't keeping score. So congrats to everybody. We all win.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. Look at that. Let's start the show.
Start?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 323. I am your host, Reid Murphy. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. We made it to 2025. I kind of want to start the show every week with Zoo saying start in a question form, just as we hit the music.
The last time I was on, you said that I always stuck in one thing right before it kicked.
It's a mastery. You got it down. You got it down perfectly. Of course, you hear those voices. Yes, we have of the Animation Deliberation Podcast, Zuhair Ali. Hello, Zoo. I love your shirt. I love the black and pink. That's my my creator team on Madden 25 is the Virginia Beats, and we're black and pink. It's fucking.
I don't know about
awesome.
the purples. That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Also, from the 323's College Shame Day, he's in his prime right now, right in the middle of the CFP, the playoffs in college football. Scott Ellia is here. How are you doing, Scott?
I'd be a little bit better if some of the teams that I picked had won. Of course, we shit the bed again on the Wheel Degenerate betting slip that didn't spin. But hey, there's always next week, right?
Always next week. There's always next time.
As long as those podcasting gears are steers.
that's
spinning.
That's right. And we just got in results from the Notre Dame Georgia game, which was delayed. And we'd be remiss in saying, our condolences to all those in New Orleans that came out of the tragedy on New Year's Day. I think it was like right after midnight, where a truck plowed through a crowd on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. It killed 10, injured at least 35. The terrorist was killed by police and all, but absolute tragedy, delayed the game. So, condolences there, thoughts and prayers with everybody in the situation. Hell of a way to start the new year, but we still keep going. We still keep fighting and still keep, trying to enjoy the beauty of sports and the greatness of sports and what it brings us to help us get through things like this. And like I said, it's the new year. And, what comes with a new year, guys? What do you think of when you think of New Year's?
Hangover.
Cold.
Hangover? Did you say what? Pork?
Cold.
Oh,
Pork.
cold.
You can't think of pork.
It is cold. It is cold as hell. And we're about to get snow here in Virginia, but no to all of those answers.
Personal growth.
Personal growth is close. And how do you get personal growth? You make
Get litty.
Resolutions.
Yes. 2 points to Gryffindor.
Yes.
I'm Gryffindor. Yay!
Not Gryffindor.
Wait, what are you? What's your house?
Slytherin, 1000%.
I'm a Slytherin. That's why I got the green on. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's because I'm white, but okay.
Which way do I point? That fucking Gryffindor nerd over there? No, not me.
Yeah, nerd. Yeah, nerd. Yeah, nerd.
Fucking Crab and Goyle over here. That's well, yes, we have New Year's resolutions, and this being the prime of the NFL season, we're saying goodbye to the regular season, heading into the playoffs. There's a bunch of teams that are, not going to make it. They're not going into all of this. He has that. I'm gonna fuck around and put my robe on. It's right over here. We have all these teams that could use some resolutions, that could use some betterment, some progress going into this 2025. So I wanted us all to make some New Year's resolutions for an NFL team or players or fans. And I'll start the proceedings. We'll go down this row here. And I wanted to make a New Year's resolution for the New England Patriots, but also not just the Patriots, but a lot of these teams that are going to be going into I don't know if I'm keeping this coach. I don't know what I'm doing in this particular spot. Don't settle. That should be your resolution here. Don't settle. Don't be afraid to move on.
In life and ever.
In life, anything. If it's feeling stale, if it's not feeling great, don't settle. And that's what I'm afraid for with the New England Patriots, is that they are going to settle on Gerard Mayo. Now hear me out. I am always, maybe even sometimes unfairly, rooting hard as hell for the black coach. I want black coaches and black head coaches to succeed in the NFL. But
why?
Why?
Because they're black. That's why.
Now let me say that sentence. Let me say that.
Say it right now. We'll clip it.
No, you're good. Because the content of their character.
That's right. And I think it comes down to this. Equal opportunity should go both ways, right?
Broke zoo.
Where you have equal opportunity hirings and equal opportunity firings. Gerard Mayo, it's his first year. I think it sucks to get fired after your first year, but if you show that you might deserve it, you might fucking deserve it. Patriots, it feels like they haven't fully moved on from Bill Belichick, and that comes when you hire one of the coaches on that staff and one of the coaches and members of the regime that was failing and allowing them to keep going. You haven't moved on. I think it's time for the Patriots to move on. You have reports that Mike Vrabel wants to be the head coach of the New England Patriots. This is somebody who was able to out Belichick. This is somebody who was able to create his own style and his own formula and his own coaching philosophies outside of the Belichick tree. If he wants to come there, bring him. There's even rumors that he would want to bring Josh McDaniels with him and bring McDaniels back as the OC. He was the best offensive coordinator that team ever had. Let it happen. Say it's okay. Just tell Gerard Mayo. Mayo has never left New England as a professional, as a grown man. Let him leave, spread his wings. He might, he'll go join Belichick at North Carolina. He'll be okay. Yeah. But these teams, like the Patriots, need to move on. Don't settle. And this goes to the Giants with these reports that they want to keep Brian Daboll and Joe Shine. Move on, man. Move on. That 1 year was 1 year. Or don't. It's fine by me. There's reports that the Cowboys might keep Mike McCarthy. You're settling. You're settling again. There's reports that the Bears want to keep their GM Ryan Poles. What good did that do you? Don't settle. Move on, man. And then there's.
You really think he did that bad of a job with the players, though?
It comes down to a thing with GMs to me is that they not only you can do well with signing players and getting and making your deals, but it also is culture setting too, with a lot of GMs and who you hire. So I just don't know how I feel on that front for them. Altogether, just don't settle unless you're the Jets. Make a fucking move. Maybe you should have hung out with Robert Saleh.
They're big on. They're big on Ron Rivera right now.
Oh my God, we talked about this on the unrecorded post game the other night. What was it? He made the stat of the day for Ron Rivera. He took between his time in his 10 years with the Panthers and the Commanders, he took his teams to the playoffs 5 times, and he had only 3 winning seasons. Like that's pretty great. That's pretty fucking great. So don't settle. Don't settle. Scott, do you have a New Year's resolution?
I mean, you hit as far as like the teams go. I mean, the Giants, the Jets, the Browns. I mean, all these the Bears. Like you have all these front offices and head coaches who are just there for some reason, and these owners just don't have any backbone. So have a backbone, put your foot down, and pay your stud. Your stud free agents, because someone's going to pay them. Saquon Barkley, and now look what happened. You have a 2,000-yard rusher in his first season. But mine's going to go more towards the Jets, specifically Aaron Rodgers, who all signs are pointing to where him and the Jets are going to be parting ways. And Aaron Rodgers, this is for you specifically. Just go away. Just ride off into the sunset. Nobody wants to hear you anymore. Nobody cares how much ayahuasca that you drink or what you're doing in your off season, what hole you're falling down. Fall down the hole and stay down the hole, because no one wants to see you anymore. You're washed up. You are the girl in high school that you had a crush on 20 years later who has 4 kids and been divorced twice. Like nobody wants you anymore. Just go away. Just go away. Go be happy doing something else. Go on the Pat McAfee show with John Gruden at this point.
How great would it be if you say that nobody wants to see him anymore and he actually runs for office in 4 years?
He'd get votes too.
Oh yeah.
He'd get votes. No, it's just like he's the tip of the spear, but players who are just holding on to dear life for everything that's possible in the world to keep any kind of relevance in the NFL and just sports in general. You need to know when to hang them up, and right now it's time to hang them up. A-Rod, you've done enough. You got your ring. You're gonna be a first ballot Hall of Famer. You have nothing left to prove. The only thing you have left to prove now is that you can keep your mouth shut. Just go keep your mouth shut and go away.
That's a tall task. Zoo, how about you? What's your New Year's resolution in the NFL?
So, Rio Robinson of Rambling with Rio has been petitioning for the kicker position to be abolished. And as we know, this has been a very, very interesting year for kickers. So if we are going to keep them around, I say that the NFL needs to look into an emergency kicker, like how we have an emergency quarterback. Doesn't take up a roster spot. You just pay them a couple mil, whatever it is. Instead of this whole practice squad dance of hoping that one of the ones that can maybe kick from the 30 gets released and then signed and messes up in a game and gets tossed around like a bag of dirt. Maybe we should look into having an emergency kicker position where you can actually try out 2 kickers properly in the offseason. And if something happens to one of them, you can go to the other. It's still competitive games. It doesn't come down to just kicker nonsense. NFL, let people have an emergency kicker.
Kind of like the NHL, where the home team has like a emergency, like 3rd string, 4th string goalie, just in case
they're just chilling in the stands.
Right. You know what?
Yeah,
I like
rest.
that. I like that. I like having just a kicker in the wings. Maybe not even so much for every team, but just have one at every game, just sitting there waiting. And whatever team wants to get him first, that just means you can't put in your normal kicker. You got to ride with him for the rest of the game. That kind of runs apparent to the whole notion that Jameis Winston just needs to be everybody's backup. I say you just send Jameis Winston to like the Monday Night Football game every week, and he just sits there and waits.
That would be, I would like that. Just a universal closer. That kind of goes to my idea, like when we've talked about like this, what's the rule that you can only have 3? No, it's not a rule that you can only have like 3 quarterbacks or 3 active quarterbacks, but most teams, because of how many players you can have active during a game, will typically only have 2 quarterbacks active. So you get really, really fucked if both get hurt somewhere.
Yeah, but now they have the emergency quarterback thing.
Right.
Where you can have one, but it doesn't take up a roster spot, which is what the Eagles almost had to do after Kenny Pickett got hurt, after Jalen Hurts got hurt in the same game.
I think that we should go even further and have a mystery quarterback just in the stadium. So like if you need it, there's just somebody, you don't know who it is. It's some mystery free agent. It could be a retired player. It could be fucking Chad.
Oh no.
It could be Glenn Powell as Chad Powers. You have no idea who's going to be there. And
no, I say it has to be a fan that tried out in the offseason and they just did the least worst job.
Oh, we're gonna Mark Wahlberg.
You're gonna Mark Wahlberg this? You're gonna be Invincible?
Yes, we're going to Invincible.
I like
this.
it.
I like it.
They get season tickets to be at home, and they're the emergency quarterback.
They're just warming up all game. It's fucking 6 beers in by the time it's time to come in.
Zip line down from like the press box, like Batman.
What happens if they go out? Do we have another fan?
I say just make the head coach do it.
I remember the Broncos.
He speaks the 3rd most Italian. Sir, I don't speak Italian. That's why you're the 3rd best.
I think it was the Broncos a few years ago. They ran out of quarterbacks. And they were trying to get their quarterbacks coach. They were trying to petition the league to let their quarterbacks coach go in, and they wouldn't allow it because he didn't have his physical or anything in, but he was like ready.
Did they have like a tight end do it or something?
I think they had a receiver do it, and he threw like all of 3 passes in the game.
This was during COVID, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What you're talking about?
Wild
that
times.
Was such a shit show.
Wild times we were in. Hey, as we're going through, and like I said, we're getting close to the playoffs, I wanted to get a top 5 in for you guys and get your thoughts on it, because we're getting to the playoffs, and of course, the teams that get to the playoffs obviously have fought for it. They're trying to earn their way, but we like to say any given Sunday, and anybody can make their way. Wild things can happen. That's why we have a wild card. And any team you want to think any team can get to the Super Bowl, but we all know we all know not everybody has a real chance at this shit. So I wanted to put together my top 5 fraud teams going into the playoffs and ruffle a little feathers here. So let's get that top 5 drama going.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the 323's Top 5.
Oh shit, here we go again.
That's right, it's the 323 Top 5, the top 5 fraudulent teams going into the NFL playoffs this year. And of course, it's not completely set. We have some outcomes in this coming weekend in Week 18 where the Broncos, they just need to beat the backups of the Chiefs to get into the playoffs. That's all they got to do. They might not do it. Who knows? Tampa Bay has not completely taken the division, but they need to beat the Saints. They got it. They're locked. If they lose to the Saints, they just need Atlanta to lose to the Panthers, which is, that's a little taller of a task. So we got some options, and I'm going to give you guys my top 5 teams that I think are frauds. They're not going to do anything. They've hurt me. I might have thought something well of them. They might act tough, but they're not going to do shit. They're not going to be able to do anything when it comes to those, those teams that we know of, like the Chiefs, who just turn shit on once it gets to the postseason. You got to go through them. Can they beat the Chiefs? I don't know. These teams can't. OLIs here. OLIs. The Minnesota Vikings. They're on OLI on here. I've got my eye on them. I became a fan last week when they beat the Packers. I became a fan, but I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you, Sam Darnold. I don't know if you're legit or if you're just this year's Case Keenum with the Vikings when the Vikings made that run, and all of a sudden we paid Case Keenum. I don't know about this. Also, the Atlanta Falcons are OLIs on here. I liked what I saw of Michael Penix in that game. That's the first time I've gotten to watch him. I didn't get to see his first game. But I don't know. It's just something about Atlanta. You can never trust Atlanta, really. But those are my OLIs. What?
Why? Why can't you trust Atlanta?
Scott's delivery of it is the best.
Because they're black. Number 5. We have number 5 on the fraudulent teams going into the playoffs, the Green Bay Packers. Frauds. Absolute frauds. In fact, I'll let this Canadian broadcaster who called Lionel Messi a fraud a few years back, I'll let him say it. Fraud. The Green Bay Packers are frauds. I don't trust them in this situation. They have not looked as competitive as they should be. Toyotathon's over, so we know the Jordan Love story's done. And Jerry Alexander, their star defensive back, he is out for the season with knee surgery. Packers aren't going to do shit in the playoffs. They are fraud. Number 4.
Watson didn't play last week either, right?
No, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the receiving core, I don't know who's going to do shit for them. I don't know if it's going to be Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs or
Christian Watson.
Marquise Lewis, if that's where he's at now. I have no idea where Marquise Lewis is, just lurking somewhere. Who knows? So I can't trust them. Number 4, I apologize for this one. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Hey.
They are fraud. Because it's inconsistent, right? And maybe, I don't know if I haven't watched the games, but I've seen them go out there and either lose to teams that they shouldn't in games that they're supposed to win on a week, where week in, week out, win one week, blow the shit out of somebody, and then the next week get blown up by another team. I don't trust them. Baker, I love him.
Mayfield magic, baby.
I love Baker. 40 touchdowns. Did not do the Jameis Winston thing of giving you 40 interceptions to counter it, but he gives you turnover opportunities too. I don't trust them when they have to go up against like a Philadelphia, if they have to play Philly in the playoffs this year. I don't see that coming out as well. So I'm calling the Tampa Bay Buccaneers frauds, and I apologize.
Those injuries worry me a bunch too.
Yeah, the injuries, and that's happening with a lot of these fraudulent teams where the injuries are mounting up for them. But I don't want to strike any nerves, so we move on to number 3. A team that hurt me.
I didn't disagree with you either.
Yeah,
I'm leaving.
Yeah, he just sat there and took it.
Maybe because okay.
Number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fraud. They are frauds.
Yeah.
They hurt me.
Yeah.
They betrayed me. I thought they were going. I made them a dark horse like midway through the season. I was like, they're going to go in here and win the Super Bowl. No, they didn't do it. They go out here and they just look like ass. They look like Kenny Pickett's still their quarterback. They just look like a team. They might give you like a little scare in round 1, but they're not going to do shit to the Steelers. They're not going to do shit to the Chiefs. You got blown out that way to the Chiefs. You got nothing. Baltimore's going to take you out. Don't like
Who's
them.
taller, Kenny or Russell?
Russ.
We know Russell's hands are bigger. That's for sure.
Why?
Kenny Pickett's 6'3"?
Really?
Oh, what?
With those hands?
And he has Trump hands? Like, what is that?
Russ is 5'11". Kenny's the same height as me, 6'3".
What?
Who's bigger,
Huh.
Who's bigger, Sierra or Russell Wilson?
Sierra. If you listen to the what's the word I'm looking for? Conspiracy theories about Sierra, probably.
Why?
Russell Wilson has the largest hands of any active quarterback
What? Russell
at
has the
10.25 inches.
Good for him.
Okay, well, that's why Sierra likes him. I don't know. There's something going on with that hand size. All right, danger, Mr. Unlimited.
They
Unlimited.
have big hands. They hold official-sized footballs.
I got giant. Look at those hands. Look at these fucking ETs coming out here. Coming
I'm
for
Kenny
you.
Pickett.
Oh, number 2. Number 2
One of these days it's gonna work.
on the list. I saw a kid at the school get like legitimately mad at another kid. They were both like first graders, and he just did a full out fucking Kamehameha at the other kid, and it was like it like devastated the other kid. It was totally worked.
I love that meme that goes around of the two dudes in a boxing match, and one's about to do the Kamehameha, and he's just like, "I quit," and they're like interviewing afterwards, and he's just like, "I just didn't want to take a chance in case it worked."
It's true.
Hey,
Don't blame him. Don't blame him. Number 2 on the list, we have the Houston Texans.
Oh yeah.
huge.
I thought they were frauds in the preseason going into this year. They got some things to figure out.
They got lucky last season.
They are definitely
Unlimited.
going to get that Saturday afternoon of wild card game that nobody's going to want to watch. And they might win it on accident. Who knows? Number 1, though, the biggest fraud team, I think, going into these playoffs is the Denver Broncos. Like Bo
They're gonna
Nix.
see Chiefs.
I like Bo Nix. I don't trust them. No, I'm afraid of the Chiefs, man. I'm just terrified of the Chiefs. Especially after watching Travis Kelce start to come alive again. I'm afraid of them. No, Broncos are my
And they got
biggest
home
fraud
field.
team. Yeah. Broncos are my biggest fraud team because I do legitimately believe they could fuck it up and not even make the playoffs here this weekend. They had every opportunity to lock up that wild card spot, and now they are in a must-win situation against Carson Wentz. And this is the Carson Wentz money game, man. Like he is going to want that win. That is somebody he does not understand the situation, that he's not supposed to do shit. He's going out there to kill some dreams and make sure that Bo Nix doesn't get in there and fuck up for everybody else in the AFC and allow the Bengals to somehow get in. And then you have Joe Burrow just blowing teams up. So Carson Wentz, call him Oppenheimer. He's going to blow all this shit up this weekend. Oh, any thoughts, complaints, commissaries against this top 5 in fraudulent teams?
I noticed how you didn't put in another certain NFC team that you two have ties to. Is that a little bit of a bias showing, or do you think they can actually make a run?
It's a
I have
little
a comment on that.
It's a
It'd be
little
a shame when the Buccaneers beat them in the first round.
It's a little.
Dude, there is this scenario.
If that
Hold up.
happens,
Wait. No, this is really exciting. There is a scenario where all of the NFC wildcard matchups could be week 1 rematches.
that would be insane. Which means we would have to go back to Gus's. We'd have to go.
Or
back
maybe
to,
we'd have to go change the venue, because what happened last time we went to Gus's?
That's true.
venue.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
Yeah,
with
we can't
you.
do that. Yeah, we need to change the venue. Yeah, we will. We will.
What was
need-
the question I was asking randos?
Oh, do you
How to
pronounce
pronounce?
caramel or caramel?
Oh yeah.
Caramel.
We need to go through like a city and ask it. Just go through all of Richmond and ask that.
Or we just walk down the boardwalk.
Ooh, we should do a live watch
Or
from
you just
the
go to
beach.
or you just go to Portsmouth.
Mm.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, do it. Yeah. Just wear a shirt that says it. But to answer your question,
because I was crazy for not following Scott's proclamation of the Commanders taking the division, I was in the boat that we were going to make some pretty silly mistakes and really look like a rookie year with the new staff. And I really thought that the trajectory would have been close to what the Broncos are dealing with right now, that they are fighting for a wild card spot. It really does come down to the wire. They're not quite there yet. That's how I thought our season was going to go. And thankfully it was just a week better than that.
And I was also completely wrong about this, happily wrong about this. I do think that if the Commanders can, if we can be healthy going into this, and I'm a little nervous this week because Dan Quinn is planning on playing the starters because seeding is important here when it comes to the the wild card seeding.
I really want to play the Rams.
If we stay healthy and Marshawn Lattimore can be back, and God help us, we keep Michael Davis off the field, we have a shot. I think we have a shot against a lot of these teams. Jaden's just made me a believer, man. He's made me the overhyped fan again. And I'm not screaming Super Bowl.
So did Carson Wentz, so that's not saying much.
Right. Talk to me in the divisional round if we make it. I'll be out of my shit. That live show, I'll be out of my mind.
Yeah, I don't think we're making it past the walk around, but I will act a fool if we do.
Oh yeah. That's why we need a live show. That's why we need a live show as it's going.
Hey man, tailgate in town center. Every Commanders primetime game is where I will be.
Okay. All right.
Great wings.
Well, look, we're going to get into this final regular season week with Ricks versus Gricks, but boys,
hi,
we have a shocking twist here. Because
how fucking convenient.
We were talking about, everything going into this. And Luis Martinez, he can't be here tonight. We hope he feels better. It's, 'tis the season to feel like shit. So feel better, buddy. We got you in the corner right above Zoo's head is like a hat. And he's out of it. He can't really compete here. And the way that the records are at right now, and I'll throw them out right here. Zoo, congrats, he went 6-0 last week. Again, he had another 6-0 week. He is now 64-36 on the season. Not completely run away with it, but it's going to be very hard to catch you here. I am second place right now. I went 4-2 last week, 4 and Zoo. I'm 59-41 on the year. Scott went 5-1 last week. Congrats to him. He is 53-48 on the season. Luis, he went 0-4 last week. He's 45-55. So, he's out of it. He can pick for fun as we go into this and compete. I need to have a perfect week, and I need to go completely pretty much against Zoo to have a shot at winning this thing. Scott needs absolute chaos to try and get into second place here and needs to strategize how he's going to do it. But I forgot about something that's been sitting on my desk and that's been sitting behind me with these mini Funkos, right? Where we picked, all of us, I had a Funko advent calendar. It did not make it into the show because Reid was tired. Your baby boy was tired. And he did not get to edit all of this into the thing. But Zoo and I, and then Scott and Luis sent their picks later. We predicted of these 24 players, it was 24 days on the advent calendar, a different NFL Funko mini player, such as, let's say, Derek Carr right here. Oh, there we go. We evened out. Derek Carr. We predicted which player would represent each team. I gave them the team. They picked the player. The winner of this, and it's what I have in my notes, is the winner, whoever got the most correct, would get 6 wins, and it would pretty much be 6 of their losses erased and 6 wins added. So it's just pretty much a swap here. Here's how this went. Luis, he got 7 correct. He did not win. He didn't win. Luis only got 7 of the 24. I got 11 of the 24.
Wow.
Unfortunately, these two beat me. So I didn't get in there. Now, for the dramatic approach.
Oh,
Who would like to be named first? Who got what? Who say Buzz? Oh, he's pointing at Zoo. Okay, all right. So in this, Zoo
it
Out of-
never goes well when I'm up against Scott.
out of the 24, Zoo got 13 correct.
Wow.
That
Good
is
for you,
pretty
Zoo.
damn good. Scott got
How many did I lose by?
14 correct.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
So Scott won by one person here. And it's funny because we differed on a lot and we got a shit ton wrong on these things, but Scott got the win here. So Scott's total now.
We also didn't know what year these fucking players were
That was and that's
decided.
that's what messed
That
us
was
up.
the biggest one that made me go, why?
But the weird thing was, like, we picked players from last year because that's what it seemed like it would be. And Luis picked players from this year and seemed like he was going to get them all incorrect. But then Kirk Cousins showed up for the Falcons. I don't know what the fuck this is supposed to be, but Saquon Barkley showed up for the Giants. I don't know what Funko was doing here, but I think there was a little bit of collusion on the company's part. We'll send in an official complaint as to Scott's winnings here. But ultimately, Scott's record now changes because the Super Grick happened earlier in the season, and he was the only one who tried to pick an upset, and it got him seven extra losses. So now he's
Take
even.
those 6 away.
Take 6 away. So now you're still in third place because you have one more loss than me. You are 59 and 42. 59 and 42 on this thing. So
Yes.
Scott is all of a sudden right back in the mix.
Just like fantasy football, baby. Just get in there. Scott squeak in.
So how we're gonna do it this week, because Zoo's in the lead. Zoo's lead dog. We could take it to a vote. I think Zoo should pick first with each thing. How do you feel about that, Zoo? Do you feel confident in yourself to be the lead picker here?
Well, given that I never pay attention to them until I open the document up right before picking time, sure, let's go for it.
Make him do it.
I have no insight.
He's got nothing to lose. It's time for Ricks versus Gricks, the final showdown.
Time, space, referee decision making. These are all just some of the mysterious, uncontrollable strands of life that make up the massive universe that we call home, and the comfort food for the soul that we call sports. As most people journey through it with no idea where to go or what to do, a select few will help you navigate terror, frustration, and endless possibilities of making a 50-50 choice. This is Ricks versus Gricks.
That's right, this is Ricks versus Gricks, Reid's picks versus Griffin's picks, and it is NFL Week 18, last week of the NFL regular season. So, let's jump into it, man. Let's jump right in. We have a lot of games, and we tried to pick all the games that have some type of meaning in this final week because we have plenty of shit games. Shout out Cardinals, 49ers. Means absolutely nothing. Josh Dobbs' revenge game, though. Just keep your eye out on him. The
Contract
astronaut.
game.
Yeah, contract game. First game up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 8-8. They are at the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 10-6. Cincinnati, 1.5 point favorite on the road in this one. Zoo, who are you taking here?
While they are frauds, I feel like the Steelers' defense is going to give Burrow a hard time, and I feel like Burrow's defense is going to let him down for the final time this season. I don't think the AFC wants to go against playoff Burrow, and everyone is going to be giving all of their willpower to make sure that he doesn't. So I think the Steelers are going to take this one.
All right. We are confidently against each other on this one. I already had my pick down. I have the Bengals winning this one. Not just because I have to go against you, but I think that Joe Burrow is playing his ass off. He is a legit MVP contender, even if you can't, wins, I do think need to be a part of MVP rankings. That's what we've been doing on the top 5. If you follow at 323Reid, at 323REID on all social media, I can't put Burrow firmly in there until he makes the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, I think you have a legit argument for him as MVP. I think Burrow continues to play his ass off. He's motivating T. Higgins. He's motivating Jamar Chase. He's motivating that offense. I don't know what the defense can do, but if they can do just enough to, shut down Russell Wilson and the remnants of Najee Harris, you got something there. So give me the Bengals here. Scott, how about you?
Yeah, I'm also going to be taking the Bengals. They're playing for a wild card spot. The Steelers and the Ravens are, vying for the AFC North title. And I don't like giving the Steelers anything, but more importantly, I like giving people their money when they deserve it. Tight end Mike Gesicki has already locked in $375,000 worth of bonuses for receptions and receiving yards. He can add another $125K with just 3 receiving yards this weekend. He is going to be an upcoming unrestricted free agent. So get that money while you can, Mike. And we're going to go with the Bengals.
The Bengals. All right. Next up, we have an NFC South battle. We have the first of two. The Carolina Panthers, who are 4-12. They are taking on the Atlanta Falcons, who are 8-8. Atlanta's an 8-point favorite at home in this one. Zoo, who are you going to take?
While I think Bryce Young is going to have a game that reminds people why he deserves to be a starting quarterback, the Falcons have too much to play for right now, and I think they're all going to bring up their big Penix energy for a win.
Big Penix energy. Scott, who are you going to take here?
Selfishly, as a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan, I would like the Falcons to lose. And the only way to do that is if the Panthers can muster up some kind of win. They're 1-6 on the road this season. But if you look at the last couple of weeks, they have been holding their own against the likes of the Chiefs, the Eagles. I mean, they had the Bucks lost to them by 3 points. I'm going to get the Panthers in a trap game, and the Falcons are going to shit their pants.
Fair enough. I am actually rolling with you on this one. I am taking the Carolina Panthers here. I think that they are a team that they're a team that nobody wants to face right now, right? Like, nobody wants to take on the Panthers. It's a dangerous game. It's a dangerous mission that you're going against here. They're just a team that's a little more motivated. Bryce Young has some confidence in him, and I like dream killer teams. I think that the Panthers are going to relish in an opportunity to kill a division rival's dreams. And I think of the 2 division games that we have here in the NFC South, they have the better shot of doing that and being official dream killers. So give me the Panthers here to end their season on a bright note. Next up, NFC South again, we have the New Orleans Saints, who are 5-11, at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 9-7. Tampa Bay is a 13.5-point favorite in this one. They need it. They need a win here. Zoo, who are you going to take?
While that defense is annoyingly good, Mayfield Magic cannot lose to the likes of Hayner, Rattler, and Carr. So we're going with the Bucs.
All right. I can only agree with you so many times in, this week, and this is going to be the one time that I do it. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here. I still believe there's some fraudulence there, but the Saints, God, man, like that defense has a little bit of might to it, but I think it all falls apart here. I don't think there's any more Riz for the Rizinator, Coach Darren Rizzi. This is where the party's going to end. Tampa Bay is going to do what they need to do to get into the playoffs and clinch the South with this and get a win. Scott?
I mean, do I have to tell you what my pick is? Do I have to tell you my justification? It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have Mike Evans. He needs 85 more yards this Sunday for his 11th straight 1,000-yard season. Easily a first ballot Hall of Famer. Another one of those guys who has some salary incentives tied to this. He can add another $3 million with just 5 catches and that 85 yards this weekend. But also Baker Mayfield can secure another $500K if he's top 5 in passer rating. He's currently 4th. And of course, there's some other money tied into there as well. But give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a lot.
13.5. 13.5 sounds right. That sounds right for me. NFC East rivalry rematch here. We have the Washington Commanders. I'm sorry. Take it, John.
The fucking Commanders! Ah!
They are taking on, at 11-5, the Dallas Cowboys, who are 7-9. Washington is a 4.5-point favorite on the road in this one. Zoo, who are you taking?
Commanders had no business losing the last matchup against the Cowboys. This definitely has revenge written all over it. They have a lot to play for. I want that 6th seed. I want them to play the Rams in the playoffs. So we are going Commanders.
Scott,
who do you want here?
There's going to be a common thread with these incentives. Zach Ertz has already secured $750,000 based on receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. He needs 9 catches, 90 yards, and 2 touchdowns away from further bonuses. And I think Jay Daniels is going to get him that money. And fuck the Cowboys. Go, Washington. Go.
And Terry McLaurin needs 1 more touchdown to be the first receiver in franchise history to pass 12 touchdowns by a wide receiver.
I would love it. I would love it. And for all intents and purposes, and I'll throw my cards out here. God damn it, I want to win this Ricks versus Gricks thing. I want an upset here. And I don't want to pick Dallas, but I want us to get into the playoffs healthy. I want us to get into the playoffs feeling fine. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys here. Just to spite Zoo. But also, there's this whole deal, like, if things aren't going right, if Micah Parsons is breaking through that line, if things are feeling a little dicey for the team, I could see the starters leaving the first half, especially if it's not, like, particularly close. If the Cowboys can get a good head start like last time, I don't feel good for it. And I don't really have real analysis here. I just need to I need to be the opposite. I want the Commanders to win. I'll be rooting hard. I'll be wearing my Jaden Daniels jersey while doing it too. But I'm taking the Cowboys in this one just out of spite. Also, fuck the Cowboys, by the way, because there's a report that Cooper Rush might not start. They're still trying to decide who the starting quarterback in this game is going to be between him and Trey Lance. No real particular reason given, except people have noticed with contract incentives and all these bonuses and shit, Cooper Rush needs to play 55% of his snaps in order to achieve a $250,000 bonus. So far in the season, he has played 52.3% of the snaps. So he needs this game. He needs to start. He needs to play through this game to meet his incentives and get his bonus. Cowboys look like they might be trying to cheap out on that. So fuck them. I'm taking the Cowboys. But still fuck them. Next up, we have the Miami Dolphins 8-8 at the New York Jets, who are 4-12. Miami's a 1.5 point favorite as they need to win and do a lot more, get a lot of help to make the playoffs here. Jets could be party crashers and saying goodbye to Aaron Rodgers, a little farewell game. Zoo, who are you going to take here?
I was leaning towards the Dolphins trying to get a spot, but I could see this as a divisional FU where the Jets just happen to step up. So we're going to go with the Jets.
All right. Scott, how about you?
We're going to continue the theme of incentives here. There's 3 defenders for the Dolphins who need a sack or a sack and a half. You got Tyrell Dotson needs a sack for $300K. Emmanuel Ogbah needs a sack and a half for $500K. And then Calais Campbell, that's right, Calais Campbell, who's still playing at the ripe age of 38, needs 1 sack for $300,000. I have the Dolphins absolutely swarming the Jets offense all day long. Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, normally I would want to say Jets. I would want to say, like, this is one of those weird divisional games. Like, the Dolphins have kind of had that season a little bit where things go wrong at the worst times. But it's also the Jets in, like, one of the Jetsiest years they have ever had. And, we're talking about a teenager named Brick Johnson calling the shots through Madden on the second team. Like, I just see this ending in a very Jetsy way with shitty performance, terrible turnovers, Dolphins defense doing everything they can to try and make this playoff run, and maybe one last hurrah from Tyreek Hill before he inevitably requests a trade in the offseason and things get dramatic or whatever the hell is going to go on. Dolphins will get the win here. They'll probably still miss the playoffs, though. Yeah, that's just how the season's gone for them. Too little, too late. Finally, game of the week, game of the year, game arguably of regular season history in the NFL. We have the Minnesota Vikings, who are 14-2, at the Detroit Lions, who are also 14-2. Detroit is a 2.5-point favorite. There has never been a game in the history of the regular season in the NFL that has been between two teams with this combined high of a record. Never had this many wins between two teams in a game. This is also a game for the NFC North title and a game where the winner will be the number one seed in the NFC and have home field advantage throughout. That means a 14-win team between the Vikings and the Lions is going to be the number 5 seed in the playoffs, a wild card team that will have to start their playoff and their postseason on the road. Very important, critical game here. Zoo, who are you going to take?
I don't know. So I'm just going to say the Vikings.
Tie.
He's taking
Going with the Vikings.
He's taking the Vikings there. Okay, that's fair. It's a tough one. It's one of those ones that you kind of do that on.
I also have a question for you in regards of seeding when we're done with this.
Okay. Scott, who do you want here?
This is going to be close. I mean, you have two quarterbacks with very comparable stats. You have two running backs with very comparable stats. You have two receivers, studs on each side of the ball with very comparable stats. And it literally could be anybody. But Detroit's offense has outscored Minnesota's on the year by like 100, 120 points, I think, last time I checked at it. And they're playing in Detroit at home in a dome. That's where Jared Goff loves to play. So give me the Lions at home.
All right. I agree with both of you so much on this that this is just almost a coin flip kind of game. I should go for a tie, right? That would give me the win on this whole thing. I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions. They've been fun, feisty, and tough to beat in prime time, especially in Detroit, especially on these like final clutch game of the season. You know, in the Dan Campbell era, I have the Lions doing just enough to get this win. They need the bye week bad, especially with everything health-wise. I was shocked that they played their starters for the entire game on Monday night against the 49ers. It was all about vibes, apparently, and that's a Dan Campbell thing. Hopefully, you know, they can get into the postseason healthy. Vikings are tough, though. Vikings are fun. Legit. Probably one of the most fun teams I've seen, including with their chemistry, everything that's been going on. The High School Musical celebration that they had last week was awesome.
That was epic.
And Brian Flores has done a great job on defense, but that Lions offense is just so creative, so powerful, so fun. We even saw recently they were showing like, you know, who's the safety blanket receivers for all these teams. And, you know, just a receiver that the quarterback is going to throw to no matter what for absolute safety. Plenty of them throughout the league in that region, but Justin Jefferson was almost like on his own tier of players that Sam Darnold has been throwing to with confidence, and he's talented enough to make it happen. I just think that Aaron Glenn and the Lions defense are going to make a priority of shutting him down and trying to take him out just enough where, you know, the Vikings are going to have to try and get a little more creative to stop them. I don't think it happens. So Detroit Lions will be the kings of the North here. Now, we don't have any booty picks this week because, you know, all the sports books are being weird about their player parlays and player things. So you need to go to @323Reid, @323REID to see.
No booties rocking anywhere?
To see what that booty rock is going to be. And all those booty picks this week. We will have it up for you. There will be booty picks no matter what. But we're going to close the show somehow. So, Zoo, you have a question for us on seeding.
All right. So something that Bram Weinstein's been talking about on his show, because apparently this was heavily on college seeding, but he brought it up for NFL as well. So I'm curious on y'all's perspectives on both. Check out College Shame Day. Do you feel like just because 4 teams win their division, should that guarantee them the home spot? Or should the wild card teams that make it be factored in, and the guys who get home field advantage are the ones with the 4 best records?
If you're gonna go with the division, for me personally, if you're gonna go with the division titles in general and go for winning divisions to, help being any type of a factor of getting into the playoffs, I think that you would have to continue the way that they're on. I'm personally a big proponent of the NBA style. I wish it was just about conferences and just have the NFC, the AFC, and simply about who has the highest records being your top dogs going. And, your four best records will be your home teams. Then the next three up are wild card teams, even if they're winners of their division or whatnot. But that's just for me personally.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, it's just, to me, it doesn't make sense to change something if it's not necessarily broken. I mean, if the season were to end right now, you'd have Tampa Bay at 9-7 winning the NFC South, which is arguably one of the softer divisions in the NFL, especially in the NFC. But I mean, if you look at them compared to the Rams would win the NFC West, and they're 10-6. So it's not like they're totally off base. But if they're going to go that route of the top four teams, the NBA route would make the most sense.
And it does suck ass when a team, wins their division and gets a home playoff game in the first round at 7-9 or whatever, 7-10 now, and, has a losing record hosting a playoff team that is, 13 wins, 14 wins. It sucks, and it doesn't feel like it should happen. So, maybe we just ban, if you don't have a winning record, you can't make it. If you don't have a winning record and there are other teams that do have winning records, you can't make it in. I don't know. Just get outlawed.
I don't know. Commanders didn't have a winning record and they gave Brady a hard time, so
I know, but it also we put a playoff mark on Ron Rivera's record. So what did we do? What did we do? I don't know. How do you feel about it? What would you like to see happen? Any changes?
It's like interesting circumstances this year because of the way that the NFC South is playing, and then having like the Lions and Vikings being as big as they are. But I kind of like that the notion of like a juggernaut like the Vikings still have to travel to like some peewee town because like that's just how it worked out. Like I feel like there's just like a whole other level of entertainment factor in that.
Well, and then you also have to look at it as far as like this week, right? I mean, you had the Lions and the Vikings who are facing off against each other for home field advantage.
Yeah.
If it ended right now, there's no point into playing because they're the number one, number two in the NFC and in the NFC. So like, it doesn't matter who wins or loses; they both still get a home playoff game. The only thing at that point that matters is, if they get the first round bye, or even like the Eagles and the Commanders, they're 13-11. So it's like, why even try?
Luis,
at that point, mathematically, the Eagles could never. At that point, the Eagles would mathematically just never have a chance of not playing on the road.
We turn to Luis Martinez with his thoughts.
Riveting.
It was. This is why this is why you pay him the big bucks. This is why you go to check him out. 2 a.m. Burrito Productions. And check him out. Fireside Chats with Big Chief Burrito Mi Gente Show is where you can find our guy. You can find these two all over the place. We got Animation Deliberation. We have him you got him shooting Realty. I mean, this guy is just one of the busiest in the world. He's working for, the Gryffindor house now and making Quidditch work. Yes, we see your tie. We see your tie there. Zuhair Ali, thank you for being... Scott's just noticing the tie.
I'm photographing the house of dorms.
Zoo, what do you got going on around the world? What's interesting you right now?
So on Animation Deliberation, we talked about the 4 episodes of Creature Commandos on Max that were available at the time, but we also had a catch up at the end of it to talk about the things that we had seen that the other person necessarily haven't, and just kind of did like a December roundup of trying to keep up with all this incredible animated content that's been out there. But aside from that, slow season is going to be wrapping up soon, so be sure to follow Upright Exposures because there's going to be a lot of cool houses to see and great content that you should like and help me get followers for.
Hell Hell yes. That's what you need to do. Go follow him there. Upright Exposures. By the way, Creature Commandos, I'm loving that show.
Good.
I got to watch today's episode. I've already seen like a slight spoiler that kind of made me upset to see, but it was very cool to know about, and love seeing the building, the foundations for the DCU coming through this really, really cool, funny, just charming animated series on Max. So I definitely recommend people to go watch that and go check out Animation Deliberation and hear all their thoughts on the show. Scott, Ellia, thank you for being here.
Hi.
As you so often are. What's going on with you on Shame Day?
Having a recap of the quarterfinals of the college football playoffs, and then look ahead at the semifinals between Texas and Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, and then Penn State and Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl. Outside of that, we're coming towards the tail end of it, and I couldn't be. I'm sad. I'm sad. I mean, the college football season ends considerably quicker than the NFL, but hey, at least it will give me a little bit of a time for a little bit of a break.
That's right. Come have a break and be sad with us on College Shame Day every Saturday morning on the 323 Network. Of course, go to the 323 Network on YouTube, subscribe, follow us, like, rate, review all the videos, do all the good stuff. Share us to your friends. Share us to your family. Promise they'll love it. Maybe. There's a Yule log. You can go watch the Yule log. Just put the Yule log on for them. They can see Baby Yoda Scott chilling by a fire with Elmo.
Hi.
Or Elmer, the cake. Oh, sorry, Elmer. He's going to haunt me in my dreams now.
Good.
Of course, follow me at 323 Reid, at 323 REID on all social media. Folks, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening wherever you do. We will talk to you soon. We will figure out what we're doing for the playoffs because it's coming close. But in the meantime, enjoy that playoff final push here in NFL Week 18. Enjoy your weekend of football. Stay safe, everybody. Happy New Year. We'll talk to you later.
If you're in Hampton Roads, come see me at Tailgate.
Come see Zoo at Tailgate. Come see Scott at his apartment. We'll put the address on 323 Reid.
Come find me. You're going to dox me?